Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Those of you who watched the Sunday chat video yesterday will be aware that I mentioned the Malvern show coming up this Saturday, and under normal circumstances I've in the past not been too happy about my plants going to Malvern because I've had several that have come back in a poorer state than they went, polite version. But then so basically the Wessex Orchid Society, which is now my only orchid society, had their AGM on Saturday, and we had instructions that if we had any plants for Malvern, bring them to the AGM to save any messing about with transport. They can then go to the right person who will take them to the show and set them up on the display. It all sounds simple, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not sending plants to Malvern because I've had problems in the past. And then we got like a pleading email to everybody in the society saying that we haven't got enough plants for a display. And it would be a crying shame, to put it mildly, to have a stand at Malvern with no plants on it because we will have failed to set up a display or insufficient plants. People have made arrangements to go and stay there, and you know, it's all these things would fall apart with insufficient plants to put on a display. So there was a plea came round: if you've got anything to fill some shelves, can we have it please? Well, yeah, I sort of thought, well, actually the problems I've had with plants in the past were not this orchid society, it was the other one, the one I'm no longer a member of. And then I thought, well, I'm part of this society, it's up to me to join in. So I phoned up the guy who's organising our display and said, I have got some plants, but I'm not very happy about driving to where you live and using up all my fuel at great expense. Can we do an arrangement for sort of halfway? Now, one of the people at the Wessex Orchid Society, well, two actually, Alan and Sue, they've hosted our summer garden party in the past, and I have filmed Alan's greenhouses. So buried down in my videos in the past somewhere is some film of his orchid greenhouses. You literally get in there and you have to fight your way through. It's so full of orchids. There must be thousands. It's not hundreds, it's got to be thousands. And basically he has, because of the plea, has now gathered together some orchids that he wasn't going to send. So he's arranged to meet the guy who sets up the display and everything halfway. So I can take my plants to him, which is halfway, and then he can take them halfway to the rest of the journey with my plants. So I'm off out this afternoon, whereas I was thinking I'd have a nice lazy day, do some repotting, rewire my Scots pine and have a nice relaxing day. But unfortunately, if plants are going to go to a show, I've got to go over them with a fine-tooth comb, especially as you know, I've got scale in the building. So each of them will have to be checked thoroughly, and in addition to that, make sure their leaves are clean and all that sort of stuff, and make sure they've got a readable label. My label won't be used for the show, it will be replaced by so that all the labels are the same on all the plants. But it's got to be readable to enable that. And I'll have to make a list of my plants, because although I'm taking them to Alan today, when they take down the display, Alan needs to bring back my plants with his, so that I can go and get them at his place, which is, I mean, it's about 35-40 minute drive through the New Forest on the scenic route. I could go the fast route and get there 3 minutes quicker and do quite a few extra miles using up all my expensive fuel. So I'm going the scenic route, just leave a bit earlier. So things are going to go missing, and they'll be missing for a week. It's Monday today. I need to take the plants today to fulfill the arrangements with everybody else. The show finishes on Sunday. They'll be back at Alan's on Monday, so they're going to be away a week, which is a trifle worrying. And in addition to being a trifle worrying, I've decided that this ought to go. It's too good a blooming to not send. Now, these blooms are 3 weeks. Now, some of them have already been open, probably 2. So some of these are going to start to drop before Saturday, before Friday, when the show opens to the public. The judging takes place Friday morning, I believe, or possibly late Thursday evening. I can't remember. So it's got to look good for then. But I've got a feeling by the time it gets to the next weekend, some of these blooms are going to be starting to drop. Luckily, I think there's enough on there to cover it. I mean, I can see some here. These are starting to go. There's one up there starting to go. So they are, but then there are some that have just opened and some that haven't even opened yet. So I'm just hoping there's enough on there for that to put on a good show. They have a tiered display this year, so like a set of shelves basically, a low shelf, next one a bit further back, next one, and then a backdrop. So this on the backdrop might look quite good because it does look at its best if you look up at it. So they can have that one. Reluctantly, the Miltoniopsis is going to go. Now that's got 3 blooms open, but it's possible it might have 4 or 5 by the time we get to the next weekend. Again, the leaves need cleaning on here. Yeah, so I've got to clean that one up. This one can go. I hope it lasts. I mean, these blooms have been open some time, but at the moment there's no brown bits on any of the tips of the petals or sepals, so it's not showing any signs of going over yet. This one's going to go on the grounds that nobody's ever heard of it, and certainly nobody else at the show will have that one. But again, I know that one has a little bit of scale on it, so I'm going to have to give it a thorough clean. So job to do. Now I'm wondering whether this one should go or not. I mean, it's got 2 good blooms on it, and if it was positioned in a reasonable place, those 2 blooms could be quite worth looking at. But the rest of the plant, I mean, the leaves on this cane aren't too clever. That's the old cane that was on it when I got it, and the other new cane that I've grown has only got buds on. They're not going to be anywhere near open. In fact, that's a leaf. I thought it was a bud, so there are no more buds. It's just these 2. And again, I think I might have a little bit of scale on this plant, so it would have to have a good clean. For 2 blooms, not sure. I might let that one go. And then, in addition to that, the guy who sets up the display and everything, he said on one of their previous displays, they had 31 Masdevallias. And so far, at the moment, he's got 1. So I've said, well, I've got a Masdevallia. It's only got a couple of blooms on, but they're nice blooms. There's 2 open, and you might get a 3rd one by Saturday. So the Masdevallia is going to go as well. So that's my contribution. So I've now got to get those plants cleaned up, make sure they've got a readable label on them, and pack them in such a way that I can transport them to Alan's place. And I'm expected there sort of later this afternoon, sort of 4 o'clock, something like that. He lives in a little country road with a school in it, and you don't go anywhere near that road at school checkout time because you just won't get down there, let alone be able to drive and park. So he said, don't come before 3:30 because you won't get into the lane. So I'll aim to get there sort of 4 o'clock, 4:15, something like that. So yeah, I'm off out, which I wasn't expecting to do. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4. They can hide that plant somehow. 4, and the where did I get to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Masdevallia 6. I was thinking about this. That's a fragile plant. I'm not letting that out of this atmosphere in here. With the humidity and the airflow, I'm not letting that go. It's too precious to me. So that one's not going to go. Yeah, so that's what's going to go. And what the time is now. I've had me lunch, so it must be afternoon, and I've got to get these plants sorted out. So I won't be doing a bonsai video today, that's for sure. That'll have to wait till tomorrow now. And my repotting, starting my repotting that everybody's patiently waiting for, I'm afraid that's going to have to wait till tomorrow as well now. I won't have time to do everything. So yeah, I've got to start, I've got to find a box or something to be able to put these in. I don't tend to keep boxes anymore. I'll find something. We'll sort something out. And yeah, I mean, it's, if you're a member of the society and they ask for plants for a display, quite honestly, it's not very good to not give them if you've got them. You know, it's different. You know, I mean, several people have said I've got nothing in bloom. It's just that's how it is. I've got stuff in bud and I've got stuff gone over, and that's what it's like when you're trying to put plants into a show. The show's at a fixed point and your plants might not play ball. And I know this year everything is late. This should not be in bloom at the moment. That should have finished and just have a few blooms left over. You know, that's 3 or 4 weeks late. If you think about it, my Friedrichsianum, which actually got an RHS award at Malvern in a week's time, at that time of year, at the moment, has only got buds on. It's nowhere near in bloom. And that was in full bloom at Malvern the year it got the award. So everything is a good 3 weeks late this year, quite honestly, which makes planning for shows rather difficult. Anyway, so that's what I'm up to. We'll get back to some sort of normality tomorrow. I need to get another bonsai video done. I haven't done one for a while. I mean, there's a prime candidate sitting there. That's my Zelkova serrata, and that, believe it or not, is a twin trunk. Well, not with that amount of foliage on, it's not. At the base you might just be able to see the twin trunks. So that needs a little bit of a summer prune, just to take its legginess away. So we could do that. That'd be a quick one, because the wiring on my Scots pine is going to be a bit tedious, but so we might be able to do that for tomorrow. And then we can get going on this repotting. I have got an awful lot of plants to repot, a lot more than I thought. So yeah, and I've got a problem. Just noticed it now. We have a tray in there with nothing in it. Where's that plant gone? Well, I certainly haven't thrown it out, because that would have been a big plant. What have I done with that? It implies somewhere there's a plant sitting on a shelf without a tray, which is not on because they drip. What have I done with that then? Oh, I'm sure I'll find it in a minute. But yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on, and so, you know, videos are a day later than they would have been under normal circumstances. So, and I'll see you next time. And as I've said before, anybody who's at the Malvern show who wants to come and say hello, I'll be around on the Saturday. And if you're around on Saturday morning, you can catch Lynn as well. And I haven't heard yet, but Ed might be there. He has been in the past, I know. But I think he only comes for one day. Now, whether he will this year or not, I don't know. Everybody's being put off by the transport costs. You know, I mean, my fuel has averaged about £1.15, £1.20 for some considerable time. It's nearly £2 now. This is a litre. This is a lot of money to just pop up the road. So people are very conscious of their fuel costs. And when you're doing a lot, I mean, Ed lives up north. To come down to Malvern is a long run. So it's time and fuel. So a lot of people are thinking twice about going to these sort of events this year, which is a shame. But anyway, 2 of us YouTubers will definitely be there on Saturday. Lynn will be there on Friday, because she's down, I believe she's down there for Friday and Saturday morning. I'm there for Saturday. There might be a few others around that I haven't heard of, but you know, some of us will be there floating around, and maybe some people can come say hello. We'll see how it goes. Bye for now.